Good evening, everyone. My name is Tina Heuermann. I'm one of the Detox Divas here with the Heart and Body Naturals, and I am so excited to share this class with you tonight. If you've been on one of Veronica's calls before, you know the power that's coming from her and the knowledge in regards to the essential oils and stuff. We love having her on here. She knows how to amplify oils with other oils, and just listening to her talk is such a gift. And we're very lucky to have her. So I am going to start out by introducing, since this is a school theme, I kind of went fun with the PowerPoint. And best principal ever is Paula Scarcella, and the best vice principal ever is her husband, Ben. The HB Naturals was born out of necessity, really, and to make an impact. Ben became very ill and had a condition called vasculitis, where the vascular system was completely inflamed. And anytime there was movement within the body that put pressure or released pressure on the vascular system, it would create such an intense stabbing pain within him that he was in and out of the emergency room, and they wanted to do surgery that really was not safe to do. And so Paula reached out to her good friend, Alexandria Brighton, who is the mother of essential oils in the Western world. If you have been around the campfire here for a little bit, you have heard Alexandria's name. Alexandria has over 30 years of studying plant medicine, Ayurvedic medicine. She's created her own plant pharmacy. She owns the Brighton Institute of Aromatherapy, I think is what it's called. I didn't have my other notes up here for some reason. She's extremely intuitive and guided when it comes to her formulations. And once you smell one of her oils compared to another one, you will truly see the wisdom and power behind each of these bottles. And we're very grateful to be the only company that's able to offer Alexandria Brighton's formulations. We want to tell you a little bit more about HB Naturals. It's a very purpose-driven company. Every time I talk to Paula, she wants to make an impact, and impact is always capitalized. And so it's so nice to have such a compassionate CEO, the only female CEO in the industry. Farm Direct, they actually drive to their own farms to pick up some of the harvest that is harvested, and drives it back to the manufacturing plant. There is a buy and try guarantee. So if you're not happy with your purchase, you will have your money come back to you. And it's very earth friendly. One of the things that we pride ourselves on is lack of paper waste. All of the information and documents are all available online. We don't print those and ship with the package. Most of the packages are now starting to come with a QR code that you can scan once you get it, and it will take you directly to the page where that product is, so that you can read a little bit more about it. So it's very comforting to know that all of these key things that are important to me are important to them, and I hope they're important to you. And speaking of harvesting, because of Alexandria's worldwide reputation for being one of the, if not the top aromatherapist in the world, she always has first harvest rights, which allows her to get the best of the crop. This woman is so passionate about ensuring that the products that go into her, that are resourced and distilled, that go into her essential oils, she actually checks the weather in the mornings and stuff to see how the weather is affecting her crops, or the farmland around the world where she will be harvesting her crops. And it's that buy and try guarantee. But once you buy it, you know the power that you're going to be getting with these products. Our manufacturing partners is another key element of HB Naturals. We want to ensure that those products are pure for you. It's traceable, sustainability sourced ingredients. Our approved manufacturing partner facilities typically hold one or more of the following certifications. And you can see those up there. There's a few more that I need to add that I just realized. But quality ingredients begin with pure raw ingredients, and that is a part of what we are dedicated to. We do want to be perfectly clear that the statements made on this website or in any of our heart and body natural literature or presentations have not been evaluated by the FDA. The products are not intended to diagnose, prevent, treat, or cure any disease. The information on our training calls, websites, literature, and in presentations is not intended as medical advice and is not intended to replace the relationship that you have with your primary health provider. Hopefully they're holistically minded, and any decision you do make about your food or supplement choices should be made with the one-on-one help of a qualified healthcare physician. So Miss Veronica Ortega is absolutely brilliant. I've had the opportunity to spend some time with her on the phone this week on another project that we're working on together. She's a licensed massage therapist, quantum aromatherapist, Reiki master, doula and feng shui practitioner, and owner of the Healing Arts Institute of Texas. She's also studied under Alexandra for probably the full 30 years, probably not. But for a very, very long time. She can touch base on that here in just a second. But I love this story. She had so much respect and she understood Alexandria's knowledge and intuitive power when it comes to formulations that she asked if she could clean Alexandria's office just so she could be close to her and learn. And I think that is pretty powerful and says a lot about not only Alexandria, but Veronica's desire to know and absorb as much of Alexandria's knowledge as she possibly can. We are going to try our best to get through these essential oils that are going to be really good for children going back to school. We want to make sure that they're healthy, because if you have to take a day off work, that's one day less that you get to take a day off for fun. And so we want to make sure those kids are healthy. I was a daycare provider for 16 years. I know those first 2 months of school starting, kids get sick a lot because they're exposed to a different germ pool when they get back together in the school, and it's a closed environment. They're not practicing their hand sanitizing and things like that. And so preparing them with essential oils is going to be absolutely wonderful for you, so that you, the parent or the teacher, are not taking time off from work. So without further ado, I am going to stop share and turn it over to the one and only, the most amazing Veronica Ortega.
Well, thank you. Geez, that's a nice intro. That's a lot to live up to. So if you have not been on the call with me before, I'm glad you're here, and I'm always grateful to be included and to be asked, because it's if you know me, you know that I love to talk about oil, and I can talk about oil all day long. We have a lot to cover, so I'm going to go a little fast so not to keep everybody too late. So just a tiny bit about myself. I've been a massage therapist for over 20 years. I was very fortunate to meet Alexandria very early on in my career. I studied and traveled with her, co-taught with her. It's been, an incredible relationship. She was my teacher, my mentor, continues to be so, but now we've become family. So I am always excited to share what she has shared with me with other people. I use essential oils every single day in my personal life and in my professional life. So I always tell people that if you come to get a treatment from me, if you're on my table, you're going to get oil. It's just how I work. I feel that these essential oils have made me a better practitioner, and I am a practitioner because of these oils and these blends. So I'm excited to share with you about going back to school. So what we're going to cover is not just what is specific for children. We are targeting children because they are the ones going back to school. They are the ones that are going to be full of the germs, sharing with one another. So they're going to bring it home. So realize that what I'm going to talk about today is not just for children, but for the entire household, for the entire family. So know that you can take care of everybody in the house, before school, during school, whenever. These are oils that should be used almost regularly, just because you want to be able to keep everybody's immune system. What's that saying? When you've got your health, you've got everything. So this is truly part of the prevention. This is preventative care, and this is what we're trying to, really take care of our kids and our family with. All right, we're going to start with Eucalyptus radiata. Eucalyptus radiata is the safest oil for children. It's one of the most powerful children oils that you can have to keep with you. It's some people we can't always say the H word, healing. So, but this is a powerful child healer oil. It will stop a fever. You can use it on an infant as well as a young, a young child growing up. I use eucalyptus radiata all the time. One of the great things about eucalyptus radiata, especially for any person, well, more so if you're concentrating on the lungs, it takes care of the upper half of the lungs. So if you have something that's just a little more, upper respiratory, then eucalyptus radiata is that. The other thing is that eucalyptus radiata is 70% has a 70% chance of killing a staph infection. So it is really a powerful, powerful oil. What's nice is that as it heals the respiratory system, it gently removes virus or infection that could be taking place in the lungs. I love diffusing eucalyptus radiata with lemon because it really helps kill off germs in the air. So part of, using eucalyptus radiata as a fever. So if your child or anyone has a fever, what Alexandria had a trick where everybody has mason jars now, right? You fill the mason jar up with some water, not full, probably like 3/4. You add a few drops of eucalyptus radiata. You put a washcloth inside of it, fill it up with a little bit more water, screw on the top, shake it up, and then take the washcloth off and lay it on the forehead or the back of the neck to help bring down a fever. So this will help with the fever. Eucalyptus radiata will help with the upper lungs, but it will help kill off infection like nobody's business. It is really a great oil to be diffused. And if you'd like a little diffuse recipe, I'm going to tell you that now. If you want to really clear up the lungs, the chest and stuff, you can put it on your chest. I just want to tell you this real quick. You can rub it on your chest, but rub it also on the back of your ears. We never put oil inside of our ears. We rub oil on the side of the throats and around the outside of the ears. So here's the diffuser. 5 drops of eucalyptus radiata, 5 drops of tea tree, and 5 drops of lavender. So those 3 together, you can diffuse and it'll actually help kill, it will really help with, inhalation, kill off infection, anything of that nature. So that is really something you want to take hold of because remember, it's not just, one person you're trying to take care of and build an immune system for. It's the entire family. Whomever is in that household, you want to make sure that everybody is, getting really healthy and really strong. So that's just one thing that you can do. All right, we're going to talk about Ravensara because we're still talking about the lungs. Ravensara is the most versatile oil out there. It does so much, but one of the great things, because we're talking about immune boosting, is it's really antiviral. It will help with pneumonia, any sort of flu, and any sort of cough. So when you're using Ravensara, you can add the eucalyptus radiata to it as well. You can rub it on the chest and, make sure that the lungs are nice and healthy. Ravensara works so well for inhalation, especially for people who just are, having that when that breath is happening, when it's just kind of getting stagnant and you just can't breathe that well and kids are coming with runny noses or whatever, just apply a little Ravensara on that chest just to help clear everything up. There might be, some mucus that shows up, but that's what you want to do. You want to get it out. So Ravensara is really a great lung oil, but it is an incredibly versatile oil. I can guarantee you that I'm going to talk about Ravensara again if I'm ever, because I'm hoping I'm going to be asked back. But, Ravensara will definitely always come back because it is really a great oil. All right. Tea tree works because it kills infection as well. Tea tree dries up the mucus. So if there's someone that has a really runny nose, someone that, they just can't stop it, tea tree is going to do that. You can apply some tea tree on the side of your throat, around the outside of the ears, which will really help dry everything up and get that mucus settled. It may come back down. So, there may be other ways that the mucus is going to leave the body, but the tea tree is going to dry it up. What's great about tea tree is that it's good for everybody, and you can put it on the bottom of the feet and then really allow the body to absorb the tea tree. It gets into that bloodstream and it starts moving. So tea tree works really well. But here's what's really exciting. You can mix equal parts, so that means equal number of drops of tea tree and lavender together. So if you do maybe 2 drops of tea tree and 2 drops of lavender, it gives it more of a soothing type of remedy that you can really help. But together with tea tree and lavender, because lavender helps, I'm going to talk about lavender. Lavender really helps build strength. It can really help build strength. So if you add tea tree and lavender together, you'll really help rebuild to the immune system to get it stronger. Here's what I do is that I use tea tree and lavender together as a germ fighter. Instead of using that little alcohol-based Purell, I use tea tree and lavender on my hands. I add in my soap, I put it in a roll-on, and I carry it with me, and I roll that on my hands as my hand sanitizer. So I travel a lot. Tea tree and lavender come with me always. So I do equal parts of the tea tree and lavender. It works incredibly well to just prevent anything from coming. So if you have a wet cough, tea tree is going to take it away. If you need to just really, here's what I want to say. I am all about shaking it up. You don't always need to use the same oil all the time. We have plenty of oils that you can use and replace with one another. So shake it up a little bit. Try something different all the time. Don't allow your body to get really plateau with just one single oil or one single blend. Move it around a little bit. So what one of the great things that you can do is maybe you have tea tree and lavender, you can use that together. And then maybe later on, you actually move into kids wellness or something, or adult wellness. So mix it up a little bit. It's okay because you really are still targeting and building that immune system. All right. So the last single oil that I want to talk about is sweet orange. Now, why would we want sweet orange? And does it really, really help with boosting the immune system? Yeah, a little bit, but not so much. I want to talk about sweet orange because sweet orange is a happy, happy oil. When you smell this orange oil, it just puts a little smile on you, gives you a little kick. And sometimes kids are not so happy about going to school. Sometimes kids are just dragging their feet, or even when they come home from school, it's been too testing for them. They just aren't really excited about life in general. And sometimes, as a child gets older and hormones start happening and rolling of the eyes start happening, a little sweet orange diffused really works well in a home because it keeps everybody very happy. If you do it a lot, you're going to be giggly happy. So Alexandria always has a great story because there's always stories to oils. Really, there always are. And so there was a group of women who used to play cards together, and there was always one woman who was the most negative person. She was never happy about anything in her life. So they just couldn't handle it anymore. So what they did was they put sweet orange on cotton balls, and then they taped it to a ceiling fan above the card table that they played at. So as it was moving, guess what was happening? All that sweet orange was just infused in the room, and that lady never said anything negative. She was just happy. So we want happy children. we want to be happy ourselves. So a little sweet orange goes a long way. It's a great oil to just diffuse by itself. And if you are all about the abundance, orange is about abundance. Orange is part, if you study any sort of something about abundance, orange is always there. So orange is really a great oil to have. It'll keep you happy and it'll keep you wealthy. Okay. So let's talk about some blends. Because I was talking about happy children or happy people, let's talk about calm. Calm is always a good oil to have on hand for kids. When Alexandria created Calm, she had a different type of intention for this blend. Calm is really about the peaks and the valleys that our life takes. And it's really about keeping you a little bit just in the middle. So that way there's not always the dramatic up and the dramatic down. Calm is to keep you right, kind of steady. Calm is, literally was created to help people who had addiction, really, so they had a lot of peaks and valleys, so it was about giving them that strength, giving them that inner calm. But I like calm because it helps give that inner calm to some children. Some kids are just, whether they're bouncing off the walls or whatever, just because they're excited, or maybe they're having a hard time, resting when they come home and going, when it's time to go to bed. So calm will really help in that area. You can apply some calm, not right before bed. You can apply some calm or maybe diffuse some calm or make a mister out of it, adding distilled water into a spray bottle, misting the bed, the pillowcases and such, just to help your child sleep a little bit better. So, or just to calm that child down or calm the mindset down, right? Because sometimes our mind is just a winding and a winding, and there's no true rest. So, calm can really help you with that. We're talking about the immune system. So, let's talk about kids' wellness. So, kids' wellness and adult wellness, because we are talking about not just the children, but the family as well. Kids' wellness is really that great blend that is about building the immune system. It is truly the immune system that we've got to keep strong, and kids' wellness will do that. Now, I can honestly say, because I vary the oils that I use every single day, kids' wellness or adult wellness may be something I keep on hand more regularly than using the tea tree and lavender. So it just depends. But kids' wellness is that oil, that blend that you really want to put on your kids. Put it on the bottom of their feet. They've got to put their socks and shoes on. They're not going to know. They're not going to, it's they think it's just, part of the routine of getting dressed. So a drop or two on each of the bottom of their feet, socks and shoes, they're good to go. So give that a try to actually help keep their immune system going. The next thing is the Kids Try Remedy. So the Kids Try Remedy is like the next level up. You have a child that is sick and you really want to get that child over whatever illness that shows up. So you want to use the Try Remedy, the Kids Try Remedy. Try Remedy, when Alexandria created the Try Remedy, because there is an adult Try Remedy as well, she created it to be that one quick shot, so it's almost like saying you need to take an antibiotic. That's what Try Remedy is. Try Remedy is about, I want to really knock this out. I really want to get over whatever illness this is. You use it for a short period of time, at the max 5 to 7 days, and that's it. You can use it every day. You can use it every few days, a couple times a day, and then you're going to just go ahead and then taper off and then move into one of the wellness. Move into one of the wellness blends. So that way you can transition from the Try Remedies into one of the wellness blends. So keep that in mind. If you're going to buy the Try Remedy, make sure that you have one of the wellness blends to just back you up after you use that. We talked about a lot about the lungs. So we talk about Breathe. Breathe is really an incredible blend to really have the whole lung, the respiratory system supported. If you need to breathe, you cannot breathe, you really want to use some Breathe. If you really are stuffy, you can add a drop of peppermint to Breathe, and it will really open you up. So we've got sinus points in the back of our head and the back of our neck, right in that, very low occipital point of our head, and that will help. So you can put the breathe with the peppermint on back there, help the sinuses drain, help you really, be able to take a deep breath, because we just get stuffy sometimes. So breathe is good. Breathe is really great to actually diffuse as well. So if you have someone who is stuffy, you can have them sit by a diffuser and have the breathe going through. So that way they'll always be able to, get better and, help that respiratory system help the respiratory system build up. I wanted to talk about still as well. Still is a very grounding oil. It really pulls you into yourself, is what I want to say. It really helps with keeping you in that inner calm as well. It's like the next step up from calm. It really helps pull you in. So with some children, they just need to be a little bit more grounded, and some adults as well. So there's the Chinese medicine, you've got to be connected to the earth and to the heavens. And sometimes we're not connected to both. The idea is to be connected to both, but sometimes some people are more connected to the heaven than they are to the earth. And there are some people who are more connected to the earth than they are to the heavens. Still kind of helps you be connected to both. But in this case for children, it really helps pull them into their body. So if you use a little bit of still on the bottom of their feet, maybe before they go to bed, or if they're having a rough time at school and they're maybe, or even a preteen or a teenager who's having a really hard time kind of with identity and, being their own independent self, maybe a little bit of still would help them on the bottom of their feet, just to bring them back into their body and to help them really be focused on who they truly are. So they'll be connected to the earth and they'll be grounded. So I love still for that reason. It is one of my favorite blends to really use for people when I know that there's too much in their head, there's too much in the heaven, and they're not enough in the earth. So still really helps with that. All right, so let's talk about a couple of recipes. Gosh, I'm doing good. Almost 30 minutes. Okay. So mucus. Yay, mucus. Here is a recipe for a diffuser. 10 drops of eucalyptus radiata and 10 drops of Ravensara will help with anyone that's got a lot of mucus. You put it in the diffuser and have the person who's really mucusy and sit by it to really help them. The other thing you can do is for a cough, this is not for a diffuser, but maybe in an actual, carrier oil, about an ounce of carrier oil, like the grapeseed oil that we have, 4 drops of Ravensara and 3 drops of eucalyptus radiata is a great combination to help with a cough. So I have this thing about people coughing. I don't know if I've ever shared that with you, but I don't like to hear people cough. So I am notorious. I used to share a space with an acupuncturist, and people would walk in coming to see her and they would have a cough, and I didn't have any problem walking up to them and giving them oil, telling them to put it on the side of their throat so they'd stop coughing. And they were shocked that lo and behold, they stopped coughing. This is the Ravensara, 4 drops of Ravensara, 3 drops of eucalyptus radiata is a great blend for children, and even so for a baby. So sometimes babies get mucusy and have a cough. This is great for a baby. If we're going to move into older children and adults, what I would add to this recipe is I would add 3 drops of tea tree. So the tea tree is going to dry up the mucus and it's going to help stop the cough. So when you've got a cough, it's the side of the throat, outside of the ear, maybe a little bit up on the chest. But just as an added kicker, you want to do the Ravensara, the eucalyptus, and tea tree for older children. So I'm going to say, 10, 11 and up, and adults, and add the tea tree to it, and you'll stop the cough. Trust me, you will stop the cough. If, there's pneumonia that is setting in, especially for a newborn, it's just a couple of drops of Ravensara in some carrier oil. So you probably want, a couple, 1 or 2 tablespoons of carrier oil with, with 2 drops of Ravensara, and that would really help with, anybody who's headed towards pneumonia. So even for an elderly person. When we think of elderly people, we also want to we put them in the same category as children. And the reason being is that their skin is thinner, their blood may not be, their circulation may not be moving as fast as they were when they was younger. So elderly people and children kind of, resonate in the same category when it comes to aromatherapy. So if you've got that stuffy nose, here's a great diffuser blend. 3 drops of the lavender chamomile, 3 drops of the eucalyptus radiata, and 3 drops of lemon. So most of us have water-based diffusers. So I like more than less sometimes, especially if there's sickness. I mean, I diffuse oils in my office every single day. And if I know that there is sickness that's walking into my office, or there's a chance of sickness walking into my office, then I will diffuse specific oils just to get, just to keep the air clean, to build up the white blood cells, because lemon does that. Did you know? Lemon helps build white blood cells. So I diffuse this specifically, the lavender chamomile or lavender vera by itself, with the eucalyptus radiata and the lemon. Always, always, always. And sometimes as an added kicker, because that's just who I am, I add eucalyptus globulus. So I didn't talk about eucalyptus globulus because it's not as, it's not like the radiata for children. So globulus is really great for older children and adults because it takes care of the bottom half of the lungs, because the lobulus is the lobes of the lungs. That's how you remember that. So, when people have deep bronchial coughs or stuff is deep down in the lungs, globulus is the oil that's going to help lift that up. But globulus is also a great infection killer, and it's also really good to just clean the air. It is really great. So I know we have Protector that helps clean the air. Protector does lots of stuff. But to really hone in on immune system, respiratory system, the eucalyptuses are really great for that to be diffusing. Add some lemon to either of them and you've got a really great blend, and you will notice a huge, huge difference. I mean, not only that, but it smells good. So it works out super well. So that's everything I've got. I'm sure there might be some questions that were brought up in the chat. So yay me, 30 minutes. See? Tina thought, God, that's a lot of oils.
You blew my mind with your time. My goodness.
I
There
know.
were a couple questions.
Okay, let's have them.
Which of these oils can be used for a 5-year-old?
All of these oils that I talked about today can be used for a 5-year-old.
Okay.
And some of these oils can also be used for newborns as well.
Okay. And the safety sheet would show the product information page would show us that.
Yes,
Because it'll
it
have the
should.
safety group on there.
Right, it will
You
have
want
a
to
safety
explain
group
the
on it.
safety groups that are on there?
So let's see if I can remember them by heart. So part of the safety groups is the categories of which, how old you have to be in order for, what is safe for any person of a certain age. So we talk about the categories of children, we talk about older children, and then into adults, and then into elderly. But you'll see, I think I said that earlier, that the infants to, I think it runs from like infancy to 8 or 9, and the elderly group is usually kind of stuck in there as well. So the safety groups are just a quick fact of how to double check yourself to see, can this person use this oil? So less is always better in the very beginning if you're introducing a new oil to somebody. So if you're going to apply it onto the body, then you want to do it on the inner arm. It's the thinnest skin of our body. You want to put it on there, see if there's a reaction. If there's not, then it's okay. Use carrier oil always. I use an unscented lotion. I use a carrier oil all the time, especially if people are not familiar with a specific oil or a specific blend. So use a carrier. Even with the blends that we do have, they have a small smidge of carrier oil in them, but add an extra little bit of a carrier oil to, your application. So that way, you're just safer. Do not, if there's a reaction that takes place, do not wash with soap and water, because soap and water is not going to take the reaction away. What does help is literally whole milk or plain carrier oil. So if you were using, grapeseed oil or jojoba and such, just put plain carrier oil on, because as it's being absorbed into the skin, it's going to thin it out. So it's going to kind of thin out the oil. So that will be helpful. All
So
right.
there's a guest on here that has COPD. Which oils would you suggest for her to help provide some relief?
Definitely breathe. And I would also, well, any of the eucalyptuses will really truly help. I would also suggest circulate from the whole body collection. So to really help move everything, to give you better circulation. But in order to increase the capacity, the lung capacity, the eucalyptuses, definitely the Ravensara, any of those, and breathe would really truly help.
Okay, and the kids try remedy, how long should they use that again?
Less, 5 to 7 days at the very most, not more than a week. It should just be used for a week, and then you move on to wellness.
Awesome. Well, that looks like all of the questions in the
Great.
chat down there. Thank you so much, you guys. I'm going to get back to screen share here and talk about a couple things. If you want to blow up that chat and tell Veronica how much you just absolutely love her training, so she will come back. We'd love to have her on. Essential oils is something I'm learning more and more about every day, and it's so great to have an Alexandria student be able to teach us. And I think Veronica knows just about as much as Alexandria. So let me go back here and share screen. Share, there we go. Okay, so there is a complete family wellness pack that is absolutely amazing. If you've not heard of this pack yet, it's fairly new. Probably less than a year old. It comes with Nourish, black seed oil, and fulvic acid. Both of those are liquids. There is one that comes Nourish, black seed oil, 1 ounce, and then the fulvic acid powder. So you do have a choice of those 2 items there. What I love about this, y'all know how much I love my fulvic. It is excellent for the immune system and removing toxins from the body. But the Nourish is what I really want to talk about out of this pack during this call real quick. Nourish is an absolute amazing superfood that we carry. I put lunchtime up there in the corner to remind me. Number one, your kids at school, you don't know what they're eating. All they want to do is throw something down, feed the appetite, and get out to the playground with their friends, right? So having Nourish on hand, having that be a part of the staple in their morning routine, sprinkle it over their oatmeal, put it in a glass of nut milk if you have that, put it in a glass of milk if they'll take it that way, put it in, it's a chocolatey flavor. It's a very light chocolatey flavor. I love it. It helps immune system support, mental and physical energy, which they need in the mornings. Allergy support, omega-3, 6, 7, and 9, which is huge. 190 other bioactive nutrients. It's pH balance. I mean, you can read it there. There's sprouts that are rich in chlorophyll, anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and 30 times more nutrition than cooked food, especially with the food that we're getting these days. So I would say Nourish. I would say this family pack, and add on, the kids try remedy and the kids wellness, because they probably will get sick at some point. So it'd be great to have that try remedy on there. I mean, all the oils are amazing. Calm for that first week of school. I remember the first day I dropped my son off at kindergarten, and his son's starting kindergarten here in a couple weeks. But my son ran away from school and my daughter was in a stroller. I mean, I couldn't catch him. I had to grab him by his hair. He was so stressed out. And then just to leave him there was like, I needed to go home and take a bath and calm. But get that calm for that first day of school. Help them calm themselves and ground themselves as they go into this new environment, because stress can wreak havoc on the immune system also. We don't want that. So, take a look at your notes and see what's going to be most beneficial for your family, but add that on to that family wellness pack. Definitely get the kids wellness, if nothing else, just so that you have that. Amazon does sell roller bottles where you can make different blends for different issues with the oils that Veronica talked about this evening also. We do have our liver and parasite cleanse coming up. The liver cleanse is August 25th through 27th. And the parasite cleanse is August 28th through September 6th. We have a brand new combo pack that for those of you that are interested in the business side of this, Marcus is going to have a call after this one. I've got a slide on that so you know how to get there. But this one would qualify you for the 30% commission. And if you put it on auto ship, you'll also get 10 free gift cards to pass out to your friends. But this one comes with everything you need for both the liver cleanse and the parasite cleanse. And just get with your sponsor, whoever invited you and shared this opportunity, this class with you, and they can get you set up with with products to help you along with the liver cleanse. And a lot of your immune function happens in the liver. So if you want to stay healthy when your kids are bringing the germs home from school, or your grandkids are coming over and they've got the runny nose and stuff, you're definitely going to want to do that 3-day liver cleanse. And there is a kit just for that if you're not interested in the parasite cleanse. So I'm super excited about that. I think I lost 17 pounds the last time I did the liver cleanse, and I've kept it off, and it's just been, the energy was intense. The Try Me product is something that you will also get with that kit. It's a bottle of the Purge Tonic that's going to round out that kit. This is specifically designed to help with the parasites and detoxing the parasites. So if you have an account with HB Naturals, you'll need to put something on auto ship that's 100 CV, and you'll get the free purge. But here's where it gets really good. If you do that combo pack, you're going to get the free purge, but you're also going to earn a free 5-day, 4-night cruise. There's some travel agent fees, small travel agent fees that are involved, but it'll be a trip for 2. And you and your partner could travel for less than $500 on a 5-day cruise. There's 3 ports of entry. Check with, again, the person that invited you here for more information on that cruise. You can also earn that by buying a bag of Fulvic or a 4-ounce bottle of the Fulvic. So those 2 free products will come. Let me just back up and show you that kit again. You get all this: Real Detox Tea, Soul, Fulvic Acid, Black Seed Oil, Hepa Detox, Lemon Oil, which we just talked about, Peppermint Oil, which we just talked about, L-Stimulate Essential Blend. L-Stimulate is an excellent oil to help with the lymphatic system. Hepa Detox is an excellent oil to help with the liver function and detoxing the liver. So you get that kit plus the purge plus a cruise. So it's a win-win situation for you. You get healthy, you get a detox, you get to take a cruise, you get to get rid of the parasites that you'll probably pick back up again when you go to Cozumel or wherever. So you can just do a parasite cleanse again. Next week's Detox Diva call is going to be a little different. It's going to be, we're going to have a live cooking demonstration, cooking with essential oils. And one of my friends, Susie Brown, is going to be our chef in charge. And I'm so excited. There will be a free recipe that will be handed out after the call. And it was a soup. I can't remember what it's called right now, but it was a very healthy soup that's going to be excellent for the liver detox we have coming up. So stay tuned, keep an eye on the announcements. We'll have a testimony call coming up for the liver detox. You can get some third-party validation on how wonderful that is. And I really hope you will take part in that. Now, to close out the call, I want to introduce you to Marcus Jones, Coach Marcus. He's become such a dear, dear friend of mine and support system. I just absolutely love Marcus. He is spearheading the U+2 Freedom Project, which is a freedom project that HBN is involved in. U+2 people to create financial freedom for you and your family. If sharing and helping others is your passion, please join our business overview at 8 p.m. Central. The website is One Team, One Dream Hangout, and the passcode is Go One Team. So with that, that is the end of my slides. I do appreciate all of you getting on here. Look at all of that love in the chat. You dilute it. Oh, you got that one. Okay, thank you, Veronica. And we will be having Veronica back with different calls and such. So thank you so much for everyone for hopping on, especially you, Veronica, for your time. And we just love to have you on. So thank you very much, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Take care.
Stay healthy.